Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, Football Talk. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. 12 settings you must turn on in Madden 26. You gotta turn these settings on, because if you don't, you're gonna lose games, okay? Just simple as that. Eric Rayweather once again providing us with the best information, the best way to win, the best way to not rage quit, the best way to save your money on controllers, TVs, your own PlayStation, your own Xbox, whatever. He's saving you time, money, and stress. So why not watch this with me? Man, oh man, I'm super excited for this one right here. Whew. All right, man, let's get into it. Let's go, baby.
These important Madden settings will make the difference between winning and losing games in Madden 26. Now, for the first few settings, we can access this from the main menu. We want to go down to the settings option here and click edit settings. Now, we're just going to scroll down here, and the first important thing we're met with is the coin toss options. You always want your coin toss
I figured this out
to be
last
on kick.
year.
I know some people like to receive it, kind of score first, set the tone, but kicking is more important because it ensures that you get the ball to start the second half, and usually by the time you're getting the ball in the second half, you've got a much clearer idea of how the game's going. Maybe you're down and you know you have to press the issue a little bit more, or maybe you're up 7 points or 3 points and you know, hey, I can go tack on a certain score here and make this a 2-score game, and maybe I can take my time doing it so that I bleed some of that clock away. Then you put yourself in a really good position to win. So you always want that advantage of kind of knowing how you have to attack starting the second half. And your second option, you want this to be against the win. So if you don't win the coin toss, you get the option of selecting which way you want to go. And you want to go with against the wind because this means in the second half, you'll be going with the wind. So if you have to make a long game-winning field goal, it's good to have the wind at your back if there is any.
That's smart.
The next is the kick meter style. There's multi-meter and there's classic Madden meter. Now, the classic one is easier to make kicks on. If you're playing offline, like in franchise or just friends, then go with this. But if you're someone that is planning to play online, the kick meter for online is multi-meter. So you should leave this on and practice getting good with this one because it's the one you're going to have to use when you're playing against other opponents. And for the control scheme, I like tap and hold. I just feel that it's the easiest way
here
with
he is.
this kick meter. Now, this...
Oh, he's about to go over this. So, I have seen from my own community and also from others the passing type. There's a lot of people that do not like the new passing type that was introduced in last year's Madden and in college football. I can't remember if it was college football that introduced it first or if it was Madden. But here you can change it. So if you feel like you're not as accurate with the little bar style, kind of like how in 2K with the little shot meter style, you can go back to the old. I know some online players went back to the classic. So this right here, if you're not having fun with the new style, you can select this, or there's another one. I think it's a little bit more hard, but just practice with it. I say this: take it into practice mode and just see how you like it. Like if you like the classic, then stick with the classic by all means. If you like the newer style, then stick with that. Or you can jump into a little quick game. See how you feel about things. So that would be my advice to the people out there that are having a hard time with the passing, especially on like the little shot, like the little corner routes, the little quick corner routes and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I would say to you guys. This one is for you, so you might want to listen up.
Next setting is maybe the most important one we're going to talk about, and that is passing type. There are 4 different passing types, and this can get pretty confusing. So the 2 passing types that I think are best are placement and accuracy, which is what I use, or revamped. Now with revamped, this one I would say you get more realistic.
Oh, this is revamped.
So again, if you're an offline player, you're playing in franchise, you want more ability to put more air under the ball or drop the ball into some tougher buckets, get more trajectory on it, then I would go with revamped. Make sure your pass lead increase is none, and then you want your reticle speed somewhere between 15 and 20 should be fine.
Okay, so 15 to 20.
But
What's
if you are a more competitive player, if you're playing online especially, definitely you want to go with placement and accuracy. This, as of right now, is the most accurate way to pass. You have a meter, which can help you time perfect accuracy. You get extra pass leading out of this on the left trigger, which allows you to freeform pass, and it's just going to allow you to have the most accurate passes.
Okay, so
for this, you want your
and
pass
accuracy
lead
might be the way to
on
go.
none, and reticle speed, most people go somewhere between 5 and 10 as the sweet spot. I just leave it on 7, which is default. That's what works good for me, and I think for most people this is the best option. Really quickly, I do want to mention that I have a membership where I post all of my ebooks and my highest level offensive and defensive strategies. I actually just dropped an ebook today, the best offense in Madden 26. You will score a ton of points with this, and we have hundreds of members who say that they are winning more games simply by just being signed up. And for a limited time, you can get 50% off a month or full year membership by using code 50OFF. Link is in the pinned comment below. Up next, we have auto flip defensive play call. This should be on by default. Leave this on. If you ever want to turn it off on any given play, you can do that in your coaching adjustments mid-game anyway, but you typically are going to want to leave this on. Defensive ball hawk should be on by default, but you definitely want to make sure not to turn this off.
Anything
this
for defense, I'm kind of leaving
when you
on,
click onto your player and you try to go for the interception. It kind of helps auto move you into position a bit, and it lets you kind of attack the ball at the highest point. You still have to do the work yourself as a user, but this kind of just lightly assists you in getting in the right position. Now this next one is really important, and it is off by default. That is defensive heat seeker assist. You want to turn this on. This will help you make better tackles. It'll make tackling a little bit easier. As you can see here on the right side of the screen, it says user control defenders are.
So this can also help out with people on defense that's not really good at tackling, or feel like the tackling in this year's is less. So turning this one on could help a lot of people, especially on the short yardage. Because I've definitely seen, not this year, but I remember last year, I saw a lot of people like on the short yardage and stuff, like their player either falling before the running back, which is, my goodness gracious, the amount of videos I've seen of that happening. Whew. Or either they switch on to the wrong player, and now their player is doing this. You know this animation right here? I know you guys know this one right here. You're not hitting nothing. Your defender is not even in the play. But he's off to the edge. You just see him at the corner of your screen like this. And you're thinking to yourself, no, what is happening? Yeah. Yep. So this one right here, it's going to help you guys out a lot. It's going to help me out too.
To ward the ball carrier when it's
like I said, anything with defense, I'm turning it on.
Again, the way
ball that can help me
into getting into position for interception, this helps kind of get you in a position to make tackles. And then you also have a heat seeker window size. You can turn this all the way up to 200, which is what I recommend, because this is just going to give you the most help making those one-on-one tackles in the open field. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and getting value out of it, I would just ask that you subscribe and turn the bell icon on. That way you're up to date with all the best Madden 26 tips all year long. It really does help the channel a ton, and you can always unsub at any time if you get tired of the videos. The next setting we want to look at is the switch stick delay. Now you could have this on slight, you could have it moderate, you could have it disabled, which I do not recommend, or you could have it on none. Now the switch stick is something that allows you to flick the right stick post snap on defense, and you can switch to different players by flicking the right stick in the direction. And even if this is not something you use because you feel like it's too advanced,
I remember this right here.
You may want to use it at one time or another. So it's good to just keep this on, and you want to keep it on slight, because if you keep the delay on none, you could instantly switch right at the snap of the ball when maybe you're mid-adjustment trying to put somebody in a QB spy or man somebody up or something like that. So you don't want this on none. You want that slight half-second delay.
So it's on none by so that might be a reason why when people switch, it does.
The next setting we want to make sure to turn on is the defensive switch assist. This is usually off by default. This is just going to kind of help you with your movement when you switch on to another player. So if you're switching on to somebody to go for a pick or go for a tackle, this will kind of ensure that the computer briefly helps you keep moving or steering you into the right direction you're already going, instead of you clicking on and taking them completely out of the play by accident. Now, this next setting is camera toggle. I like to turn this off because I'm sure you've all been there where you've accidentally toggled your camera mid-game right before the ball is snapped, and you're kind of out of position, or, you know, out of whack.
I've definitely done this at least once
to the
or twice
camera that you got switched to. You might have accidentally hit the D-pad.
Especially in
but
franchise
you need to make sure in your settings menu that you choose the camera angle that you like. Most people do play on standard, but some people play on a wide camera, for example. So make sure that you change your default camera in the visual feedback in the settings menu, and then you toggle the camera off. That way you'll never accidentally change out of your camera mid-game. These next settings we're going to go over are your coaching adjustments, which you adjust before every game or during the game. You can change them on the fly. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, I don't really mess with the coaching adjustments. I leave all that on default because there's really no need to change them. But on defense, there's a lot of important ones you have to change. So when you're at the play call screen, you're going to click the right analog stick.
If you have watched like these videos before, some of these will be
adjustments. Now, your auto flip defensive play call should be on because we said to keep that on in your settings menu. And for most people, you just always want to keep it that way. You want to keep your cornerback matchups on balance. Don't do overall and speed and all that, because sometimes this does bug out and it'll have your assignments kind of flipping, and it could be just a certain play, a certain formation. It's just not worth it. It's better to keep it on balanced. Defensive motion response, you should pretty much always keep this on default. These next few are really important. Read option key, or just option read key rather, you want to put this on conservative. That means if someone tries to run a read option and keep it with the QB, which is what 90% of people do when they run a read option, you'll hit the QB in the backfield. You won't have to worry about guys like Lamar taking off for huge yards. For option pitch key, you want this on aggressive. This means if somebody runs a speed option, what they mostly want to do is pitch it to the running back. This will prevent them from being able to do that. For your RPO read key, you want this on conservative, and your RPO pass key, you also want this on conservative. This is going to help you against RPO read plays. So if they try to run a read option out of an RPO, they will defend the QB. If they try to pass out of an RPO, this will help the defense play the pass first. Now, RPOs can still get kind of glitchy in this game, so sometimes they will still complete passes, but you still want this on conservative because it's going to give you the best bet. Strip ball and tackling, pretty much just always leave this on balance. You can maybe go aggressive on these if it's late in the game and you're on defense and you desperately need to get a stop.
I definitely would not,
it can't really hurt to try to maybe get a fumble, but otherwise just leave these on balance. Zone drops, these allow you to drop zones to certain depths. If you're not an advanced player, you should pretty much leave these alone. But for example, I could drop my flats to 30 yards or 20 yards. So if I'm facing someone that's throwing a lot of corner routes on the sideline, for example, I can run a Tampa 2 and drop my flats back to 20 or 25. That way they will drop back and the corners will not be open. And you could do this with curl flats and hook zones. If you're trying to defend something deep over the middle, you can drop hook zones back 25 yards and things like that. Again, if you're not advanced, I would just leave them at default though. And then for your safety depth, I don't really mess with these too much. I will go with a close or a tight safety depth if I'm facing someone that's just running the ball a ton, like that's all they want to do is run the ball. This kind of just brings them into the box a little bit, and you can also do the width on pinch as well. This is like very aggressive if someone's just running the ball every play. This will help your safeties get closer to the action, and it'll help them play the run better. Otherwise, I'm pretty much on default. The only other time I'll maybe do safety depth on close is if I'm trying to defend seam routes. For example, if someone's killing me up the seams, this lines the safeties up a little bit more in the seams, and it kind of helps with that. But again, otherwise, just leave these on default.
Wow. Okay, another great one by Eric Rayweather. Once again, just want to let you guys know the original will be linked in the description down below. To sum everything up, I mean, one of the most important ones is the passing. Okay, I know that's going to apply to a lot of people. You got 4 different options. One of them are going to align with what you like. All right, they're giving you multiple options. Test it out in practice. Maybe play a little quick game. Do a couple of drives and stuff. I will mainly say if you're doing like a little quick game, do routes that you had problems with the old way, with the default, or if you had already changed it before, I will say do that. So if like the little bam, hit him bam, and like you passing it, but the defender always picks it off, or he's always batting it down, I would try it with like stuff like that. to help out. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this reaction. Love you guys. See you guys in the next one.